In conferenza stampa hai detto di non aver mai visto un film di Superman, hai guardato appunto una serie TV in bianco e nero da quando appunto eri giovane. Chi ti ha convinto ad accettare questa parte? Come ha fatto Zack Snyder o i filmmaker a farti accettare appunto questo ruolo?
They gave me a script that I was interested in, simple as that, you know. I wasn't inclined to do this movie. I actually thought it was kind of funny when I got the phone call, saying, oh, they want you to play Superman's dad. Because I had that call before from Bryan Singer when he made his movie, and then he ended up reusing the Brando footage. But you know, I read it, and it was way more complex than I thought it was going to be. You know, and it has that great question right at the beginning of the movie, where, you know, as a parent, you know, what sort of sacrifice would you make for your child? You know, and ultimately, my character and my character's wife make the biggest sacrifice that you can make. They send their infant off for the possibility of a life, rather than, you know, keep him close to them and face imminent death. So they convinced me through the quality of the script, and then I sat down and I talked to Zach, and he has an amazing energy. You know, he has an enthusiasm, and what's most important for me is his preparation was old school, like David Lean. You know, he had it all laid out. He knew what he was going to do, and he required of me to be in that preparation period for 3.5, 4 months before I even got in front of the camera. You know, and in this day of, you know, big budgets and the pressure of schedules and everything, nobody does that. Nobody. So from that perspective, you know, also I've got 2 boys. I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, and you know, I have to admit that part of the decision-making process was the thought in my mind that finally I would make a movie that they would be able to go and see.
L'arroganza dei kryptoniani ha portato il loro pianeta alla rovina. Krypton è sicuramente una metafora comunque per la Terra. Faremo anche noi la stessa fine in un futuro? Come possiamo fare per evitare questa rovina?
Well, I agree with you completely, and I think those metaphorical lines are on purpose. It's undeniable that we have been abusing our environment, and one of the things that this movie says is a thing that I believe in. We keep looking upwards to say, oh, the problem's up here, it's in the atmosphere, you know, the ozone layer has a hole and all that sort of stuff, you know. But if you take the theory that you know, humans only invent from what is already there, they improve on things that were there before. The combustion engine is seen as the greatest invention of mankind, because the combustion engine is similar to our planet in that you have to have a molten core and et cetera, but one of the most important things that an engine needs is oil. It needs that viscosity to run. If you take the oil out, the block cracks and you have no engine. And that's long been a theory of mine. Stop looking up and start thinking about what we're taking out of the planet, that the warming of the planet, that the change in weather and all that sort of stuff is probably more related not to what we burn on the surface, but what we take out of the planet in the first place. And you know, very definitely we need to change a lot of the things that we're doing, not just with fossil fuels, but with plastics. And you know, when you know, we don't see it in the news because it's just such a big thing, but there is an area in the Pacific, just south of the Aleutian Islands, where the tides of the Pacific gather. And right there is a clump of plastic that's gathered together that is 4 times the size of Texas. And no governments can get together and organize how we clean that up. Now, sooner or later, that thing hits the coast of somewhere, whether it be China or Japan or America or Australia, you know. And what happens when that happens? You know, this thing that is like not only so wide, but it's also deep like an iceberg, you know, and it's just little bits of throwaway shit that we get rid of, you know, that won't decompose. So very definitely, I think, you know, as we all know, we have to focus on our environment, you know. But this movie has 2 things really that are strong. One is that environmental connection, and the other is the statement that the most powerful tool that we have as humans is love. and not be afraid of love. You know, 'cause love is going to actually get us through all of these things.
Thank you.
Cool.